Welcome to the Fred Dryer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn alongside Corey Marino, the one and only Sultan of Safeties. You know him in your heart as Hunter, but he is the man, the myth, the legend, Fred Dryer with us. How you doing, Fred?
Very well, folks. Great to be here today. It's a beautiful day today. Great day to do a show.
It certainly is a great day. How you doing, Corey?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, we got people joining us live on Facebook. We're on Sirius Channel 217, XM Channel 203. Saturdays at 3 p.m. on 790 KABC. Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific. You can catch us at The Real Fred Dryer, FredDryerShow.com, at Fred_Dryer, and you can email us at FredDryer@CRNTalk.com. There's a lot of things going on. And one of those things is, for all of you watching at home, getting the video board working. Thank you, Corey.
You're welcome.
We don't want to timestamp ourselves, but we are a little bit of in a euphoric state. There's been the Dodgers have been kind of trending downward lately, but they had a bit of a fun win recently. Am I correct? How are our feelings on the Dodgers today?
Yes, they just won. It was a day game, so they have to go to Boston and have a nice series with them. But they're playing the Twins, the rubber match for the series, and they walked it off. Freddie walked it off. Freddie walks it off. We're watching replays here. This could be happening anytime, anywhere. We're always watching Dodgers here. Dodgers, we don't really get too much screen time for the Orioles. We do got some Lakers. We got some Laker news. We've got training camp starting up. Fred, does it ever take you back this time of year when training camps are opening up? Does it take you back to that time of the fresh cut grass, back to them early drudges of?
Well, it's definitely a great part of your sports life, training camps and teamwork and all of that. Unfortunately, they've cut out all of the activity of contact of two-a-days. It's a new era today, and it's unfortunate, but you still have people grabbing their ankles and hitting the deck, and you still have them, running out of water and all that stuff. And I'm amazed at the quality of athlete today, and then again, I'm not.
We got that to talk about and a lot more. Stick around to the Fred Dryer Show.
Looking for a pharmacy that truly understands your health needs? At Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy, we specialize in custom compounded medications for patients of all ages, including pets. From pain management and sports medicine to natural hormone replacement and dermatology, our expert pharmacists create tailored solutions with precision and care. Trusted by major professional sports leagues and the U.S. Olympic Committee, we deliver top-tier medications you can count on. We are your source for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and other treatments for COVID and parasite cleanses. Serving patients and physicians across California, we offer mail order service for your convenience. Visit us at 1901 West Cliff Drive, Suite 3 in Newport Beach, or call 949-272-0775, or go to westcliffcompounding.com. Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy. Custom care, trusted solutions.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 800-785-9618. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-785-9618 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 800-785-9618 right now to schedule your tax-deductible vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-785-9618 now.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-379-9528. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-379-9528. That's 800-379-9528 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-379-9528. 800-379-9528.
To the Fred Dryer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn alongside Corey Marino and Fred Dryer. We started talking about training camp because we are at that time. It's late July. Teams are reporting. It's very hot. As you know, as we ended last week, I did mention, Fred, that I tied the knot, so I'm officially married now. For those of you watching, you can see the ring.
What a job well done.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You brought home the bacon.
That's what our pastor said. He's like, whoa, you hit the jackpot. But it was nice. It was a very sweet day. But my family came out from the East Coast, and ironically, they kept commenting that, man, it's so nice and mild out here. It's like cool. And they're like mired in 90 to 100 degrees.
Where are they from? Where are they?
They're littered across the East Coast from Florida up. My family's mostly in Maryland and Myrtle Beach, where it's like mid-90s and super humid. You walk outside, you're drenched.
Yeah.
And that's what they're facing with a lot of training camps. And it was a member of the Miami Dolphins, Byron Matos, I guess. He was airlifted by helicopter. They didn't say why, but I'm assuming it's heat exhaustion. He's like a really big guy, 300-plus pounds, 6'4". Have you ever experienced anything like that, or what are your memories of training camp when it deals with guys going down early, kind of coming in not in shape, and just dealing with that?
Well, my first 3 years was in New York, and we were out in Connecticut at Fairfield College. And 69, 70, and 71, we had huge heat waves, just humid storms. It was really miserable. It's one thing during the daytime, but it's one thing at night when we try to get a good night's sleep and the air conditioner is out.
Yeah.
They ran the air conditioner all day, and then when you need it at nighttime, it doesn't work.
There's nothing better than waking up super sweaty.
Yeah.
You got any memories, Corey?
No, I'm not really. I played high school football, but it was just those. I was in Santa Clarita, so there was some in the closer to the desert area. So it got to 110 one time out there, and so we did have to. I think we did stop practice for the heat warning.
110's pretty hot.
Yeah, and then if it's on the turf, like luckily we were on fresh grass.
Yeah, that's
if it was on the turf, it's like 120.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Well, that's true, and that's if you're in Boise and you have those darker colored fields. Is that even affected more or what?
Well, the AstroTurf in the summertime is not to be believed, and those people who are listening to this broadcast who have that experience understand it is brutal. You really have to make sure that you're hydrated, and the best way to do it is certainly with water, but the best way to do it is through diet. You eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and you stay away from the things that might slow your system down, and you start gagging out there on the field before practice even starts.
Did they give you that kind of stuff on the sidelines? Did they back then? Do you know if they do now? Give you like healthy alternatives like snacks while you're practicing?
Well, there's no snacks per se. there's they have Gatorade and all the other things that you have a tendency to slug down when you can. I remember we were playing George Allen was the head coach of the Rams in '72, and he said, to punish us, he says, "All right, that's it. No more water." And of course, out in L.A. and Fullerton, it can get pretty hot and humid, not like back east or Midwest. But and everybody just kind of stared at him, and as if someone let the gate out of the running of the Bulls. This team, the whole team, just stomped right past him, just almost ran him over to get water. And of course the doctor was there, and he said, what's going on? He said, well, George won't let us have water. He says, that dumb SOB. And so it was a battle, between George's discipline tactics, his philosophy, and the fact that the reality that hey, look, you need water no matter how what a jerk you are or how bad you are. You got to have water.
It sounds like a lesson to be learned for any would-be head coaches out there. And
I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think people are, the modern day man playing sports. I don't think if there is, someone write us an email to tell us what moron is still punishing players by keeping water from them.
No, they do the exact opposite. The Denver Broncos lately have been they put a little chip on, or like a pad that reads your levels, and you'll get personalized
glucose levels,
everything, like sodium levels, glucose, like blood pressure and everything, and you'll get personalized, specialized per you what you lost in that last training session. They'll give a Gatorade bottle full of things just to.
That's smart.
And
that's high tech.
You can do that with like the Broncos owners are the Walmart people, so like they have what the means. And so, like, that's the crazy difference between the coach not giving you water and these guys are like, you missed 7% of your sodium. Here's it in your drink.
Yes.
Well, if anybody has any stories, send them to Fred Dreyer at crntalk.com, and we'll get to them. Did you have another thought there, Fred?
Not really. You hope that with the price of tickets and with the ownership being the way it is, sophisticated and worth billions of dollars, it's preposterous to think that entity would keep water from their players. I just don't think that's a reality anymore.
Well, it's such an interesting point, though, because just like we see, politicians lie, we see people lie to get what they want all the time. This is like another realm where that happens, and there's definitely the perception that the player's interest is being, thought about first and foremost when it comes to concussions, whether it's giving them water, all these protective measures, even though they're talking about extending the season to 18 games and all these other things that seem to go contrary to that. Can we really believe that they have the player's best interest at heart? When I read this story about the NFL Players Association, Lloyd Howell, who was their most recent executive director and ultimately the president, stepped down as well. His resignation revealed that he was charging union money, over $3,000 for strip club visits. He's got ties. He's working with the Carlisle Group, which, Bush family.
Have your coach send you off to the strip club is different than not giving you water.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. But, a secret confidentiality agreement with the NFL to hide a collusion arbitration ruling. And what I got most from this, and if you guys have any thoughts on all of this going on with the NFLPA, what I found disturbing about it was that players who have been like the players' leader, like Dominique Foxworth and I forget, Matt Schaub, who used to be like the team heads, they weren't even really brought in to speak to player reps when it came to being the executive director, as Lloyd Howell was. And then you have somebody like him using funds and then stepping down. If they wanted the player's best interest taken care of, wouldn't they think to hire like a former player who's actually been there and done that?
Yes and no. with players today having such impact on their respective teams, whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever sport it is, it's not a surprise that at some point in time you have to hold back the line and just say, look, the organization can take care of these problems we have. We don't need to have X players to do this. Although at the same time, why not? I mean, if it spreads goodwill and it gets the job done, people have a reckoning that should be dealt with.
Well, going into a break, I want to ask you on the other side, like, if you think it's changed, how much input the players do have into what's going on. So on the other side of the break, you listen to the Fred Dreyer Show on CRNTalk.com, Sirius Channel 217, XM Channel 203, 790 KABC, Saturday nights at 6 p.m. We'll be right back.
Savor the past and savor the glory days of Las Vegas. Enjoy 70 years of true Las Vegas history as 4 generations of family wait to greet you at the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro. Wine, dine, and experience Mama Maria's award-winning original recipes while surrounded by original family photos and celebrity memorabilia. Enjoy piano artistry nightly with music from the Great American Songbook in our main formal dining room. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 7 days a week. 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. It's Vegas, baby.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-475-7125. 800-475-7125. That's 800-475-7125.
You experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
All right, welcome back to the Fred Dreyer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, alongside Corey Marino, and of course Fred Dreyer himself. Missing Mike Horn, but he should be back soon. Talking about football before we get into baseball a little bit more. We were talking about training camp, players going down, then the NFLPA. I was curious, Fred, because now, like I said, there is that perception that the players' interests are, at the forefront of league ownership. And what was it like? Was there even a players association when you were playing? Like, I don't know if that's something that's been newer and how much influence do you think they have now as opposed to then? Has it grown?
Well, yeah, there was a players association, and the players association was neutered in their ability to help present day players. I mean, we had, the great era of pro football was this bold, dreamy-eyed, lying jag that ownership went on, telling the present-day players that they had no business asking to see the books of the owners for negotiation purposes, and at the same time, the Players Association was all, being honest about it, really drove a real bad campaign to get more money and they wanted things like telephones in your room. This is like in the 60s and 70s. They wanted to make sure that they got to have their say-so, and the reality of the fact was they should have been holding out. They should have hired Marvin Miller, who worked the deal with Major League Baseball and the owners, and to get that parity. And of course, the truth of the matter is that the Players Association, NFLPA, drove terrible campaigns. They even went to strike a couple of times during the years I was playing, and it was maddening that they could miss the boat that poorly, and it wasn't until the TV money started coming in the 90s. They started paying people, and to this point now. I made a joke a long time ago, not too long ago, but I made a point that ownership is now chasing quarterbacks who are basically unproven commodities. Some are, some aren't. They're chasing them down so they can demand that they take $50 million a year as a salary.
Yeah, who would have ever thought that was?
I couldn't tell you. I really have no idea how this all came to be, but suddenly the owners tried to ignore players for decades to the point of abuse and breaking the law. I mean, they just did it to stick it up our rear ends. And nobody did anything about it. We didn't, today they don't want strikes, or they can't muster up a strike because there's too much money. If I'm making $30 million as a defensive end, and someone says we're gonna strike, and I said, well, for what? What are we striking for? Well, we got to get our due diligence in the collective bargaining agreement, and we got to get a good business model this time around, and we got to do this and that. I said, look, I'm making, over the period of my contract, I'm making close to $200 million. What am I doing? I mean, if you want to take my pension away from me, well, that's one thing. But at the same time, you're not going to move many people to give up their contract.
Right. I want to get to Shohei and some Little League Baseball and some other things, but I have to go here since we're talking about this and you're talking about money and the amount of money the league makes. There was a lot of hubbub. I know we don't really talk about female women's sports too much, but I don't know if you were aware that this whole big thing happened at the WNBA All-Star Weekend, where all the players wore shirts, "Pay us what you owe us," and there's been a lot of talk about how they're like $50 million in the hole, that the WNBA has never had a season in which they've earned, where the owners have made money. And Do you have any thoughts on that? Like where you see something like that sense of entitlement, where it's almost like the owners are kind of force feeding, hoping that it'll catch on, and yet they're just not bringing in any money, and they expect to get paid this amount of money when it took men forever to get what they truly did deserve because the leagues were making a fortune.
Women's sports is not as valuable as men's sports, number one. And nobody is going to, throw a bar mitzvah for women who are not being paid what they think is right. If they want to get paid, they have to get together and get a Marvin Miller type of person and hold out and push it. And I'm afraid they'll lose.
Right.
Well, I don't think.
Exactly.
What's her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. She's the diamond of the women's movement in professional basketball. But I don't think that's gonna fly anymore. I don't think you're gonna have. I think Caitlin is a good basketball player, but she's a female basketball player. There's not much value there in terms of people saying we've got to watch Caitlin on TV tonight. Because,
right.
If she shows up on TV, that's fine, but it's not going to be the way it was. If Michael Jordan or if somebody else decided, we're going to press it. We're not going to play games. We're not going to go to training camp this year and blah, blah, blah. So it just works itself out to be, it's just what it is. The value of women's basketball isn't what people want it to be or hope it would be.
Yeah, it seems like a product of culture. I often talk about like they build up drama, the Angel Reese, the Caitlin Clark, and sometimes I want to watch for that. Just like I loved watching my niece who played college basketball. I loved watching her, but I kind of have to liken it to, do I want to go and watch minor league baseball or what's the G League in the NBA? It can be fun to watch, but it has to be like story driven almost, because you're not seeing the high flying dunks and things like that people really want to be entertained by. And it shouldn't be offensive to say those things, but
it's not. It's just the reality of it. I mean,
yeah.
Let me ask you, a Caitlin Clark driven all-star game against KC against who won the championship for the NBA.
In the NBA?
OKC.
OKC.
Oh, yeah.
You think they're beating them?
No.
Okay, so that's not going to happen, and there's just there's a limit to everything, and I think women's basketball represents that.
It would be great pay-per-view to have like a state championship, like high school basketball men's team take on like a WNBA team. I think that would be a fun matchup to watch, and then maybe get to like a college team. But anyway, I digress. I know we don't get into that much. It's just the perception of what players feel they're worth versus what they're actually worth can be so different. And I feel like if they were to attempt a walkout or a strike, that would be very interesting, because I don't know if that would make much of a ripple.
Well, it's to get attention, to see what the barometric pressure is on how important women's baskaball is, and it's just not that interesting, nor is it that important to have a league that is losing money. What, 40 million was it last?
I had read 50 million.
50 million. Well, hell, if you can strike and make people pay you, that's wonderful. But the reality is, you're not going to get that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, all these women that in the WNBA are like, I would not all, but a lot, like I'd say 99% of them went to college and had scholarships. So they've actually they haven't really had to. I mean, up to high school they paid for everything, but they've now been on this course of they're doing what they love
right.
for they got a college education out of it. They're getting paid to travel across the world and do what they love, and 16,000 people might watch them on one night for an All-Star game. And that's the thing, is they're 16,000 was a sellout for their All-Star game.
Right.
And that's 1/5 of what the Dodgers did today during a day game.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I saw a post today, somebody talking about how ridiculous it was that a manager at Target makes as much as a WNBA player, which is still $80,000. That's still not awful for your average American. Granted, prices going through the roof.
I'll that's where I'll go.
All right, 80,000. I'll take it. You can live on that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in California, but anywhere else. But hey, you're listening to the Fred Dryer Show on CRNTalk.com. Send your emails to freddryer@CRNTalk.com. You find us on 790 KABC Saturday nights at 6, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on XM Channel 203 and Sirius Channel 217, XM Sirius app 967. Go to freddryershow.com if you missed anything. But for now, we will be right back on the other side of this break. Stick around.
Hi everyone, Tom Mustin here for the Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-745-9090. That's 800-745-9090. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent right now. So, if you or someone you know were injured in an accident, like a car accident or slip and fall, call now to find out if you have a case and how much money you could potentially get. 800-745-9090. That's 800-745-9090. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Step into the world of Harmony Cheese, where Wisconsin's finest dairy traditions come to life. Our master cheesemakers have perfected the art of crafting exquisite cheeses using only the freshest, highest quality milk. Indulge in our signature Golden Age cheeses, a collection of handcrafted masterpieces that will tantalize your taste buds. Savor the tangy sweetness of cranberry and orange Arbor jelly, the rich buttery smoothness of our aged Gloucester, or the bold, complex flavor of our Merlot cheddar. Harmony Cheese is more than just cheese. It's an experience. Every bite is a journey through the heart of Wisconsin, where passion and craftsmanship meet to create culinary delights. Visit our cheese shop in Athens or shop online at harmonycheese.com and discover a world of flavor that will leave you craving more. Visit our website at harmonycheese.com. The Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui is open, and we are welcoming guests. All properties are taking reservations now. Come visit. Go to kahanapaliresort.com. Experience Kahanapali Beach Resort on the tropical west side of Maui, just a short drive from the airport. All highways are open, a collection of relaxing resort properties, our award-winning beach, delectable dining, world-class restaurants, and activities for everyone: snorkeling, surfing, sailboating, water sports of all kinds, beach and ocean dining, stargazing, beautiful sunsets every night, golf, sun, fun, food, wine, and all in paradise. Visit Kahanapali Beach Resort on Maui. Relax. Reservations are now available. Start with a visit to kahanapaliresort.com. That's KAANAPALI resort.com. The Kahanapali Beach Resort is waiting for you.
Back to the Fred Dryer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton alongside Corey Marino and Fred Dryer himself. Got a lot of people tuning in on Facebook Live. Give some shout outs here. We got Diane McLean. Greetings from Portland. Lots of basketball news. She said the WNBA Portland Fire has already sold 11,000 season tickets. So there is some people that are wanting to watch some ladies basketball. We got Rachel.
Who is that? Repeat that.
The Portland Fire. That's actually the team, the expansion team, right?
They expanded, 3 more teams?
I'm not sure.
Because I definitely know there was one. There was Portland, Ohio, and then I think another one. But
we'll see how it works then.
Someone got in trouble because they made fun of Ohio. They're like, no one wants to go play in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're like, I love working class people. I just didn't want. There's nothing to do out there.
Didn't somebody? Oh, Johnny Manziel did an interview the other day, and he talked about how he hated playing in Cleveland, so it just drove him to drink or whatever, party even more.
That guy's an alcoholic.
He had the world given to him on a silver platter, and he just thought he was Jesus himself or something. But all right, Rachel June, G. Shelley, hello, Fred Dreyer, Jeremy Dayton, and Corey Marino. Thanks for getting to our last names as well. How you guys doing? She says.
Everything's
Still
good. Everything's
doing well.
wonderful. Thanks to you. Thank you.
All right. She was calling in from Birmingham, Alabama, watching on Facebook. We got Elisa. She's over there in Italy as well. Hoping everyone is doing well. Yes, we are. Thank you, Elisa.
Everything's good over here, dear.
Pamela Johnson wants to remind everybody that there is a Hunter Marathon scheduled this Sunday, July 27th from 12 Central on GET, the GET network. 6 fan-favorite episodes, including Unfinished Business. You got any memories from that one, Fred?
I got so many memories that are all tied in knots. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at half the time when I see these shows.
Apparently, that's a really popular show, that Unfinished Business one.
That is a good one, actually. That's why I think that might be in our top 3 or 5.
Oh, right on. Well,
yeah.
we got Nikki Blitzky, greetings from Nebraska. We got greetings from Glendale, California, from Kate. We'll say Dayton now.
Dayton.
And Jenny Wilcox Chase. Greetings from Santa Maria, California. We got Bruce High from New Mexico.
Ooh.
And then we got good old Paul Stern. He wants to know, how was it working with Don Bexley?
Don Bexley, well, he was played the character with a shoe shine guy, along with Sporty James, who was a strange character that played by Garrett Morris, who was really great, did a great job on our show. But Don.
He would shine your shoes on Hunter?
Don Bexley, Bexley, I believe.
Yes.
And it was a real. We had some real good people there. The people really contributed and added to the show, and he was one of them.
Paul must be a big fan of good old Don. Just trying to reminisce. Well, all right, you know who a lot of people are fans of is Shohei Ohtani. So despite the Dodgers' recent struggles, losing a bunch of games, even when they score 7 runs, just kind of on a really poor run, I can relate. I'm an Orioles fan, so we've been doing the same thing all season long. But despite losing all these games in some heartbreaking fashion, today notwithstanding, Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei's good.
He's on a historic through 955 games. His hitting stats. Babe Ruth had 240 through the same amount of games. Shohei 257. Ken Griffey Jr. had 550 runs batted in. Shohei Ohtani 627. So he's shattering the all-time records through their first 955 games. But what the amazing thing is, he's shattering these hitting stats, but then he's also obliterating the pitching stats through 91 starts. Nolan Ryan had 607 strikeouts through his first 91. Shohei 618. Clayton Kershaw had a 3.16 ERA. Shohei 2.97. Great piling of stats here, Corey. That is just pretty amazing. You have any thoughts? Have you been able to sleep better during the Dodgers losses, knowing that Shohei is putting on a great show?
Well, he gets paid for what he does, and he's still the highest paid guy, which he will be. And I don't know. I watch him, and it's funny. He'll strike out 2 or 3 times a game, all on the same pitch.
Yeah.
Down and in.
It's a humbling game.
Down and in.
It is, but it's amazing because, especially with football, there's only 17 games. There's 162 games a season. So it's like, even if you go to a loss, you're going there hopefully to enjoy it with your family, friends, whatever. And if you get to see history, you get to see a great player. It's all about the journey, right? Not necessarily winning and losing. So even though you want to ultimately get to the promised land, when you got somebody on a ride like Shohei is, it brings a little bit of joy to it.
Yeah.
Better when it's a walk-off.
Yeah, that's right. You get to eat $33 hot dogs.
If you're working at Target as a manager making $80K a year, you can go to one game, maybe two a year.
Sure you can.
Well, all right, I want to get into this because I like getting into the morality, the ethics of sports, the sportsmanship. You know, Shohei, we love him because he's humble. He's breaking all these records that he does. He's not flashy. He doesn't taunt. He doesn't showboat. A lot of players do, and often ends up on highlight reels on ESPN. Well, we know that the children, they love to emulate their favorite stars on the gridiron and on the baseball field. Where there's a 12-year-old Little League player in the New Jersey State Championship. In the semifinals, 6th inning, he hits a go-ahead home run, which ultimately sends his team to the state finals. But after he hit the home run, he flipped his bat, something you see pro players do all the time. But because he flipped the bat, it was considered it broke some sort of high school code, and he's suspended. There's a 1-game ban, so they will not let him play in the finals. Mind you, if they win, they go to the Little League World Series.
Well, are you kidding?
No, because he flipped his bat after a home run, he's suspended for the next game.
See, I'd take that adult or group of adults and ban them from ever watching the games again. You don't need that type of stupidity influencing the kids. Let them play. Come on.
Well, exactly. But it's worse when it's so promoted at the highest levels, and then we punish the kids for it. Joe Rocco, he added that the umpire cited the celebration as a safety concern, and that contrary to what's shown on their pages about bat flipping, he was told that his son had broken league rules. Joe Rocco is the father of this kid, Marco.
And he threw his own kid out?
No, he's fighting this suspension.
Oh, yeah,
so he's writing a letter to the league.
Yeah, of course.
But, I mean, I feel like that just goes to the hypocrisy of what's promoted in culture and even on the biggest stages through pro sports, and then we see something like this happen, and then what does that tell kids? What kind of confusing? They see something said in a movie, they say it, and all of a sudden they're castigated for it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the kid has an idiot parent.
Well, the parent's fighting for him. You saying the parents shouldn't have let him?
The people who are running the show are adults.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, should they be?
It just seems hypocritical. Yeah, they should be doing something else.
Well, and it's the duality of the sport, too, because baseball, because Major League Baseball lets them run around and get excited because they want the young kids to start watching. That's what they were losing the younger base. And now football, they're banning celebrations like the guns and stuff like that because they are already too popular. So they already have the kid demographic. So they know that what they do affects them.
Right. And
so it's just funny the difference. Baseball allows it because they need the young people, but then the young people are getting penalized. And then football is like, no, we don't want you shooting. And basketball, we don't want you shooting guns. It's like, interesting.
Yeah. Stop, run, stop. No, go back. But we know one of the biggest showboaters and somebody who just I'm glad he hasn't played for the Ravens. And there was some, people who hoped that we would somehow go after him when he said, I'm done here in Miami, talking about Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
He basically quit on his team last year. And after the last game, he was taking off his shoulder pads, told reporters, I'm done. Get me out of here. He wanted to leave Miami. And that's not just an indictment on the team, but all of his teammates. And so Tua Tagovailoa, he was talking to reporters today, and he said it's going to take not just with me, and it's with a lot of guys. I'm not the only one that heard what he said, and a lot of people that follow football, that follow the Dolphins, that follow Tyreek Hill, that are fans of his, everyone saw it. So when you say something like that, you don't just come back and say, hey, my bad. You got to work that relationship up. You got to build back everything again. You got to build that trust up. Have you ever had a player say something that basically cast his team aside, threw him under the bus, and then had to come back with his tail between his legs?
Not that much.
What do you think of this? What if you were on his team, how would you receive him coming back? What would you expect him to say coming back?
Well, he would apologize, certainly, and then go get suited up for practice.
That's cut and dry. That's the way it should be. What if he didn't want to? What if he didn't think?
Well, then you got to go along with the rules. You can't be that foolish.
Yeah.
And he'll find a spot in life as an adult with by making these types of mistakes and also correcting them.
Yeah, Tua did show some grace in his final comments. He said everybody makes mistakes. It's just some people, they're in a spotlight and their deals get pushed out more than some others. So just got to cut him some grace.
I did like that Tua didn't give the guard the shield front line like bull that they usually give and say, oh, we'll make him. He said what he thought. He's like, he's gonna have to earn it back, and he's like, I didn't like it, and not the team didn't like it, and we'll see what he can do to just go out there and perform, because he also had a bad year, and I think he was probably not wanting to play and playing less because he thought he was injured, and he was having a bad year on and off the field.
Don't give him any water.
Hey, if it worked for you and your team, why not?
Oh yeah, it works great.
Let's get into some of these contract signings. T.J. Watt, who I believe you shared a position with, he's one of the bigger names on the defensive end front. He just signed a record contract. He was the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year. We got to face him twice a year as a Ravens fan. He's a pain in the you-know-what. He just signed a 3-year, $123 million extension with Pittsburgh that makes him the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league. For a team that just went all out, bringing in DK Metcalf, whatchamacallit from Miami, and Aaron Rodgers, like going all out, that's a lot of money to give to an aging defensive player. I'm sure I wish you could get in a time machine, right, and get a contract like that.
You always think about, people are in a position for a reason because they're good and they're in demand. And as long as he remains good and in demand, he'll get his money.
Yeah, and I think he'll deserve. He had a little bit of a down year, but they all did last year. And the Steelers have shown that it's pretty much now or nothing for the next 2 years, and this year definitely with Aaron Rodgers being on a 1 year.
$41 million a year. You would hope that he is setting some records to bring back a return on investment worthwhile. We got a few more things to get in here. We got Caleb Williams doing homework. That'll be an interesting thing to watch with him coming over from the Lions and how that's going to play out. That whole, rivalry now is half of his offense should know what to expect.
It changes all the time now.
Does it?
Yeah.
Think he's going to totally reinvent himself on offense?
Yeah, that's one of the things that Kansas City is doing is they're making sure that they go through their offense and say, okay, we can make some adjustments, and it's all good because it's based on the talent that they have and the talent that they're anticipating.
Yeah. Well, and you never know who's going to show up and suddenly become a star on the rise on all these rosters. That happens every year.
Yeah.
Guys, don't go anywhere. Listen to the Fred Dreyer Show on CRNTalk.com. We'll be right back.
You hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, CarShield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call CarShield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-824-7094. 800-824-7094. That's 800-824-7094.
Turn down that radio!
If you finally decided to address your hearing loss, the MD Hearing Aid Air is a medical-grade hearing aid that costs up to 90% less than traditional hearing aids. Designed by a Chicago doctor, the MD Hearing Aid Air has a sleek, nearly invisible profile. This digital hearing aid incorporates technology and features found in hearing aids costing thousands of dollars. The Air offers advanced noise reduction, making speech clearer and virtually eliminating annoying background noise. 3 environmental settings put you in control. You select the best setting for your location. Call 1-800-431-8125. Over 100,000 satisfied customers have already made the call. Call right now for our exclusive 45-day risk-free trial and get free shipping and a year's worth of free batteries, a $50 value. Call MD Hearing Aid at 1-800-431-8125. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's 1-800-431-8125.
These are the sounds of Columbo's Italian Steakhouse.
Look at this ribeye. Did you see that ribeye?
Fantastic. Incredible.
This is delicious.
Sausage and lentil soup, special today. Very, very good.
Look at this garlic bread. Best garlic bread I ever had.
And here's Vic Perino, owner and operator of Columbo's.
A lot of the Italian recipes are my uncle's own recipes. We have a lot of people coming back for his hand-rolled lasagna. We make it basically from scratch. I think ours is exceptional.
Here's Vic on what makes Columbo's different than any other Italian restaurant.
The other thing that sets us apart from other Italian restaurants is that we're an Italian steakhouse. We specialize in our steaks.
Plus, there's more.
They're coming for a lot of reasons to value. Their value per dollar that they're getting, plus coming into a neighborhood-friendly place. That, sometimes we're actually accused of being the melting pot of Eagle Rock.
Columbo's in Eagle Rock on Colorado Boulevard, 323-254-9138. Mangia.
All right, welcome back to the Fred Dreyer Show. I'm Jeremy Dayton, sitting in for Mike Horn alongside Corey Marino, Fred Dreyer. We just got an email, a private email. They must have been listening, and we got another question from some guy named Mike. He wants to know your take on this, Fred, as Trump has been talking about, there's new stadium talks in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of excitement with Jaden Daniels at quarterback, but he's saying the name has to go back to the Redskins and not be the Commanders anymore. What are your thoughts on possibly going back and offending some people but making others happy?
Look, these billionaires spend their money any way they want to spend it. And when they when they put their money up in their bid for a franchise, I think the Skins sold for $6 billion.
Yeah.
And
crazy. They
have a right to name their team, and it's not offensive. It is to these people, but who cares about them? Apparently, they're making a lot to do about nothing, and you had a weak owner who gave in, and of course, they changed the name right around the time that they announced that they wanted to sell the team.
Right.
So it's not up to the president. But it's good to know that he's on your side. But for the most part, quit screwing with the names of the teams. It's the Washington Redskins. If I'm buying the Washington Commanders, I'm changing it back to the Redskins because it's good for the brand. That's a business decision these guys have to make. And that's that. Leave them alone.
Yeah, you're never going to make everybody happy, but I know a lot of Hunter fans are going to be happy. I want to make sure I give a shout-out to the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention. That's coming up September 18th to the 20th of this year, our 20th year, at the Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel in Towson, Maryland. I grew up 15 minutes from there. 903 Delaney Valley Road.
Well, you're going to meet us over there.
I'll hope to. We're trying to once we get back from Thailand. So if you want to go check that out, look it up. Fred Dreyer and Stephanie Kramer will be there to Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention. If you missed anything, go to FredDryerShow.com. You can always go to CRNTalk.com. Look us up. Fred Dreyer at CRNTalk.com is the email. Catch us on 790 ABC Saturday night, 6 p.m. Fred, final word?
Corey and Jeremy, it's great to have you here. Look forward to it the next time.
God bless.
If anyone should ask, you're listening to CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Party leaders continue to battle over the release of the Epstein files. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries